Hello.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Un momento. Looks like a couple people still joining. Thank you, Bhavna, for your text message.
Oh no, I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, right at 5:55 it says update Microsoft, and it's just
Don't you
take.
just hate it?
I can't stand it. It happens at work too, and we have this whole new supposedly safer platform, but it updates like every day, all the time. So anyway, apologize for being all tardy. Thank you very much for having patience there. I only had one person tell me that they will be late, and another person that said that they won't be here. So let's go ahead and still get started. It's still circling on my. I don't know if it's just updating last minute circles, but it looks like something's happening here. All right, I think we should be good. So how's everybody going? How's everything going?
Right.
Thumbs
On
up.
summer vacation, last day of school.
Oh, so how long is when do you go back in August or September?
Yeah, staff has to go back August 23rd, and the students will start August 31st.
August
So
31st.
your
Okay.
last day was today?
Eh,
For the staff, yeah.
Where do you
so
work?
Calvert County Public Schools.
I didn't realize Calvert was out so soon.
yeah,
Wow.
I feel like it's late. I used to live in Ohio, and I worked at a school district, and we'd be out by before Memorial Day, I believe. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but you know,
But we would start earlier.
yeah.
St. Mary's is still in, and Rebecca Charles is still in, right? Yeah.
Oh, when do
Oh
they go
yeah.
out?
And Arlington is still in
My daughter is
across the
homeschooled.
street.
So like
Ah,
she's been, yeah,
Oh,
virtual kindergarten did not work well for her. So,
virtual kindergarten.
oh, it was about as awful as it sounds. She also has ADHD, so it was kind of like a combination of a difficult situation plus already kind of disadvantaged from sitting in front of a computer for 6 hours. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that was an interesting experience. So she's actually been done since the end of May. Um, well done,
yeah.
because when you homeschool, like there's not really that's when I had to submit her information. But I think that Charles County follows a similar schedule to the other
Yeah, I think they're still
yeah.
in. My grandson's in Baltimore County. He doesn't finish until next week.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I know they didn't have as many snow days this year because everybody
Right.
was at home. So
Right.
I
I
mean,
really
I'm not
wonder if
surprised
next
that
year.
some are, started stopping early because,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no delays or snow. I think they maybe had one or something like that.
Well, don't they have the teacher days or something like that? Something where the teachers
So at
At
least for
the
take
Charles
end.
a.
County, they were doing it on Wednesdays when we had asynchronous days anyway.
Mistakes.
So
Yeah.
like it didn't affect us at all.
Cool. All right. Well, we're at the last day of class, and this is where you take over. I don't really do a whole bunch except for listen. I do have a guest speaker that's lined up. Hopefully, she'll be here today, and I'll wait and see when she shows up, and then I'll announce her in the group. At this moment, let's see who wants to go first. All right, Bhavna, you have volunteered. It's still circling for some reason. I don't know if it's doing something in the background. Stephanie, just in case you missed the announcement, I've been inside of a Microsoft update.
I saw that email.
Okay, you saw it. All
Good
right.
timing, huh?
Perfect timing. And it's still doing something. I don't know what it's doing, but I got these circles that's kind of circling right here. So and it says, oh, update terms of use. Okay. Bhavna, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So it's been a crazy week. Sunday we had to take my son to the ER again, and so I didn't get to the recreating the 2 pictures. I tried my best. It was kind of last minute. I'm not really happy with how they turned out, but I tried. It's just been a hectic, crazy week. So I'll start with those, and then you want us to do the PowerPoint,
Your whatever your portfolio is, however you
Okay.
set it up. And start off though, tell us what you came to class for, and then did you get that, right? And then share your presentation.
Like I've said before in previous classes that, I really enjoy taking pictures and creating those memories. And I think, it's just really fun to pick up a camera and take pictures, but I wasn't confident enough. And I didn't really know what I was doing. So that's why I took the class. And I feel like I've come pretty far and I've learned a lot. And it was nice to share with everyone else in class and get different perspectives. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I just hope I continue, and I would like to maybe, take another class.
Yeah, I actually sent a message to CSM, and I let them know that I'd be interested in doing a part 2 class.
Ooh.
And I shared some curriculum ideas. We're gonna meet over the next couple of weeks because it's summer now, getting ready to have the summer schedule.
I'm in.
So and then I'll be sending out, once they tell me I'm a pilot at first, and it'll have a little bit more detail too with the whole, specialty things like how to get a certain kind of picture at night, how to get a certain portrait look. It'll be more about the art of photography and any, depth. So whatever you have to share about what you want to learn more about, put that in the chat, and that way we'll capture it so that I can have it in the conversation when I talk to CSM.
And I think what also helped is obviously having the structure, but then also you assigning homework and then us sharing and then getting feedback from everybody. I think that definitely really helped with the learning curve too, and not just like, okay, we'll go do this and then, not being able to share or whatnot. So
Right.
that was fun.
Well, originally it was like not that much time built in to do that, but I'm glad they allowed me to do that with the virtual class, and they extended it, and it works with the thing. What do you guys think about the 8 weeks versus 6 weeks? Do you think the pace was good
Yeah.
for the 8 weeks? Okay.
It would have
Alright.
been too quick for me to do what we've done in 6 weeks because I thought it was 9. So I was thinking there was another week.
Okay. All right, cool. Good to know. I'll be putting that in my report. They did not give me an evaluation link, so I don't have it, but you'll probably get it in the mail from them. Okay, in the email. So, all right, Bhavna, I'm sorry. It is your floor.
Okay, let me first open what I want to share. Hold on. Okay, and then go to Zoom, share screen. Okay. So we can see that.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
If you can make it a little larger, that's cool. But if not, that's okay.
Yes. I will make it larger. Okay. So I tried. The picture on the left was taken by the photographer that I always talk about that takes our pictures. And then that's what I tried to recreate yesterday, and it was foggy outside and really humid. I had to edit the picture. My daughter you can tell both pictures. She does not like taking pictures.
Yeah.
Sorry. So that's the recreation. I guess that's what you were kind of looking for. I don't know.
Well, that's good. I mean, the fact was you were recreating it. Now, I will give commentary, and you guys tell me, is it okay for me to give commentary now, or you want commentary after? In the
Now,
moment? All right.
yeah.
So in the moment, there's three things right off the bat I would encourage you to do, and you could do it again. But if you notice, look at the backlight that he had where the sunlight was coming from. And I understand it was, foggy, but also look at the background as far as what would you change to get that background blurry?
Blurry. It would be the f-stop.
Right. You need a different depth of field, right? Which the
Mhm.
f-stop, the aperture would participate in that. So good. That's all I need. I need to know, how would you fix it? Because right now, if I say good, better, and best, it's good, but you can definitely make this better. And with your editing software, you could also create that blurry background,
And
and you can put light
Mhm.
on the on the left side of the picture too. So keep that in mind. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Continue, madam.
Okay. And then this is the other one.
Oh, look at
So this
that
was
is
when
so cool.
he was a newborn. We did the newborn pictures of that was the photographer. And then there's mine.
So, question: did you film in black and white, or did you turn it black and white?
I turned it black and white.
You see
Because
the difference in the sharpness of the picture?
yes. Hmm.
Cool.
I mean, hers is more, but then like my husband, he was looking at it and he said that he likes his face better in the one that I did. And compared to hers, he looks a little washed out. But then baby Ronak, he looks, he's popped out more and his
Yeah.
hair looks black in hers
Hmm.
compared to mine. But
No problem. Good job though. And the fact is, there's some things you can do with filters to turn this a little bit darker and get that dark black, that you talking about the contrast from the hair to your
yeah,
husband's shoulder and his
yeah,
shirt, right? Because you can see the real color is in the front of baby Ronan versus on the side. And then
yeah,
too, you know, um, uh, uh, just a little bit of a different environment, right? Is this the same room?
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, good deal.
Okay. I'll stop share and then I will try to pull up the other one. Okay. Hmm.
I appreciate that you gave it that real good effort, Bobna. That was good.
It's been an exhausting week. I know I could have done better, but it was, and yeah,
No problem. This is your favorite photo.
yeah.
I love it.
Okay, here's the portfolio. I don't have music. I tried.
It's okay. Not
Um,
required.
okay. And this is just, I know you wanted
Some kind of mark to tell us what it is. Yeah.
yeah, the rule of thirds, the perspective.
Hmm.
This is when you told us to go outside and oops, take, I think we were working on f-stops.
Okay.
So that's that. Another when we were just doing homework, we're playing with f-stop, exposure time. More with f-stop, exposure, ISO, depth of field.
Now, is this short depth of field or long depth of field?
Long,
Okay.
I feel like long. The S mode.
What is S mode?
The S mode was the shutter speed.
For sport mode, right?
Right.
Shutter speed. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shadow, the fast blur action,
Awesome.
the black and white when we were doing the editing,
Yeah. Mm,
canvas, the Canva edit,
awesome.
and my photographer's choice.
Yeah, caught that fire dancing.
And that's it.
All right. Well, looking good. Thank you so much, Bhavna. You guys, let's give her a thumbs up. Emoji con. I'm giving the heart. And you know, awesome job. Again, from day one to now, you feel good. You see the results. I just want to make sure you know how to get the better results, how to go back in and change it if you need to get what you're trying to get what you actually wanted to get
Right.
when you decided to lift up the camera.
So
All
I'll
right.
be going to Florida on Saturday, and I'm very excited to take my camera, and I will be taking a lot of pictures.
That's awesome. And so you really have fallen in love with your new camera, huh?
Yes.
Aha. Awesome. All right, Stephanie, would you like to go next, or who would like to go next?
I actually don't have anything. I sent you a text, but you may not have gotten it.
Okay.
It's just been a crazy week. Unfortunately, I didn't either make time or have time to do anything, but I'm going to do my assignment late and just to prove to myself
Oh,
that I can
okay,
do it.
okay. I said, who is this?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you respond back?
Yeah, I was like,
Yes,
and who might this be?
it was me.
It was
Sorry.
you. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, but
I didn't have it locked in my phone, so I didn't have your
so
name on there. That's okay.
I will say, although I haven't stayed up to date with my assignments, I have learned a lot from the class. I really liked it. I feel bad that I haven't really contributed as much as I would have liked to have, but life has just been crazy. Business owner, and work obviously takes priority over, something fun for me. That I'm definitely gonna stick with it, and my goal is within the next like maybe 2 months actually be like good with my camera, like actually good with it, and feel comfortable with taking portraits of different groups of people.
Well, we'll say if anyone, and this includes people that's already done it as well, um, the next class is already going to be coming out. I mean, it's on the calendar already. The date I believe is August, July, August. I believe they started, yeah, July 8th to August something. Anyway, if you decide later on, Stephanie, to want to get some feedback and you want to share, I don't mind you coming into class.
Okay.
Again, everybody here, if you want to come into any of the classes that's already going on, you do not have to go through again and pay the CSM and all that. All you got to do is let me know, hey, Dwayne, I want to jump back in, and just jump back in, and everything will be cool. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. I do want to see what you decide to do when you get, some time, but I really want to encourage you to find time, make time, because time's not going to show up, right? You're a
Right.
business
And that's,
owner, you're
yeah,
a
that's why I
family
said
person, all that kind of stuff. Time is never going to show up,
I know.
Time waits for no one. Remember that song?
Yeah.
Time waits for no one. So, I shouldn't be singing. I might get in trouble. all the crows and everything start coming to the window. All right, don't worry about it. I got you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
just want to see that you get what you came for. Okay.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Cool. Who's gonna go next?
I'll go next.
All right, Miss Fowler. Make
All
that
right.
happen.
So first, you asked what I'd wanted to get out of the class, and if I had. I didn't even know how much I did not know about my camera. Because my camera, I have so much more respect for the camera because it is almost like an entity unto itself. It has
Mhm.
outside dials, it has inside things. It is set up to do really remarkable things. And honestly, I had no idea. So it's been really helpful to me to learn how to use it better. What I've also realized is that learning is not yet cemented with me. I have to keep referring back to information, and it will only come from using it, that I kind of get that muscle memory to make sure that I know what I'm doing going forward. But,
Right.
you know, be that as it may, I do feel like I've learned a lot. And in learning a lot, I've also learned how much I don't know.
Awesome.
And so not just about my camera, but as we got into editing websites, et cetera, there's like this whole plethora of additional information that is available. And so anyway, this is barely scratching the surface of,
It is.
and I have no desire to be a professional photographer. This is just to kind of do what I want to do and do it well. But boy, there's a lot out there. Whew.
Well, you remember that, yes, it's definitely something you can take on at any time as what they call amateur photographer, right? Photography is an actual thing, and people make thousands of dollars doing it or not. They just share it in a lot of different ways. I just want to encourage you that, what you said is you learned about your camera, but you learned what you don't know. And then the
Mhm.
other side is that, one of the questions that I asked in the beginning is like, where do you want to spend your time shooting, you know, nature, in, with children, with inanimate objects. So hopefully you've identified an area of excitement, because when you say go deeper, that's where you're going to go deeper. Because now let's say you want to do portraits. Well, portrait photography is a thing of in itself, just as underwater photography. I saw the most amazing camera underwater through virtual reality Sunday, and I was like, "Golly, what a camera!" And it's made to catch urchins and seahorses and stuff like that, real detail.
Mhm.
Anyway, so know that, and this is to everyone. Yes, you want to have fun and things of this nature, but you never know what might happen. Um, One particular person who was playing around with his camera, he took a really cool picture and he submitted it to this. Sometimes you can submit to these little cool community functions, and someone recognized it, put it in a bigger forum, and it became Photographers Weekly, which is a magazine. It became the front cover. It
Wow.
wasn't the front cover, but it was on the front cover.
Mhm.
Soon as he made it to that front cover, thousands of people wanted to find out, how did you do that? It was a sunset.
Mhm.
And today, he's one of the world-renowned sunset photo artists. He wasn't looking to do that. It just so happened that history, you know,
Mhm.
brought him in, and people loved what he
Mhm.
did, and now his work is known. So keep that in perspective. Okay. All right. Show us what you got.
Okay, so I approached this differently from Bhavna approached it the right way. Let me say that, and I did something a little bit different. Let me make it short. Let me get a screen share this. There we go.
You said Bob the fix. She set the bar.
She did in a really great way. That was awesome. So let me move this. No, let me move this. There we go. Okay. So I did a presentation on Canva,
Okay.
and why won't it let me? Oh, there it is. Present. Present. Are you seeing that?
Yep, we do.
Okay, so naturally, you're going to see some pictures that you've seen before because, you know, that they're in my portfolio. And so I didn't keep like the presets. I just put for each picture what the specifications were on the picture for the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO.
Okay.
And I realized maybe that wasn't the right way to do it, but
Well, there's no right or wrong. It's mainly that you let us know what we're looking at. Like, what were you trying to do? I was practicing ISO. I was practicing shutter speed. I was practicing, you know.
got it. So with these two, it was shutter speed, trying to get the hummingbirds stopped.
Mhm.
And I was really happy with the way both of those turned out. And with this, it was to get a short depth of field and focus on that bee that was on the honeysuckle. And I didn't realize how much the colors would kind of meld together, but I did like the look that you know came out with.
Mhm.
So this is again depth of field, and I really liked how these in perspective, how the flowers closest look so much bigger than the flowers behind. So both perspective and short depth of field.
Okay.
This, of course, was capturing the water beads as they went up in the air. And so this is kind of a, the whole water thing is something I'm really interested in. And what I had wanted to do, I was able to accomplish one of the, and not a copy of a picture, but like I wanted to get a Solomon sunset picture, and I did that you'll see in a couple of
Okay.
minutes. But I also wanted to get, there's a photographer whose name I think is Joshua Cribbs. I might not have the name right, but you know, he's on the internet. He has a Facebook and Instagram presence, I think. And I saw a video by him, and he does pictures of, uses a tripod with his camera, like right where the water is coming up. So at a beach
Mhm.
where there is something interfering with the water flow, it might be a rock, it might be a person, and his purpose is to catch the water as it comes up, click the picture, and then for 1 to 2 seconds, the shutter is closed, is open while the water is going out. And it gives this really nice effect.
Okay.
So the I guess maybe caveat to that is you have to have a certain lighting, low light. So you know, it can't be bright sun when you're doing this. And so my husband and I yesterday left. So I'm still laid up. I'm on a, for my foot surgery, I'm on a scooter. So I'm not driving really independently. My poor husband has really done yeoman's work over the last several weeks, getting me places to do pictures. But we left here yesterday. We went to Breton Bay, and they didn't have much water movement there. And then went a couple of other places. We ended up at Point Lookout State Park. So we left here at 10. It was really cloudy. And we got to Point Lookout at about 1:30, and the skies were clearing. Like, what? It was supposed to be cloudy all day long. So, you know, I tried it, but it just didn't work. It was, there was just too much light. So what he had suggested is either a cloudy day or, you know, just after dawn or just before sunset.
Okay.
So I did not get that picture, but like Stephanie is saying, I have every intention of getting that picture in the next couple of weeks because it intrigues me. I think it's going to be kind of fun. So obviously short depth of field and just I wish there had been water droplets on this picture, but you know, there aren't. Perspective, looking straight up out of the trees. So I started this wanting to improve my photography with people. This is the only people picture I have in my portfolio, interestingly enough, because people are really hard, and particularly kids are really hard. So I'm going to keep working on that, but I did like this as a perspective picture. And you saw this sunset. So this was in the landscape mode, but my camera also on the inside under the scenes has a sunset mode. So, you know, what I wanted to do was to capture a Solomon sunset. And so my daughter took me down there last Saturday, and I really liked the number one, the fact that this sunset mode brings out the yellows and oranges. But I like that open pier look at the uh, at the bridge.
Hmm.
And then
Wow.
Wow, that's
Look
pretty.
at that. That's beautiful. Look at this. The cloud. You caught the cloud
Yeah.
perfectly. And the boat.
in the
Mhm.
boat.
The
So let me
colors are
tell you
beautiful.
this.
Did you
So,
edit any of this? No.
oh yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
Oh, okay.
So this was under the bridge. So there was a, you know, only one of the bridge supports was in the picture, but it's on the right hand of the sun. So I took it out. And I've never done that before. So this was really cool to me. I used PixArt to
Hmm.
their removal tool to take it out.
Right.
However, you know, that doesn't really do it. So then I put it into Pixlr and used the clone tool. And I am telling you, I went back and forth between both websites for a couple of hours to
Wow.
kind of really work on it. Since this is the first time that I've done it, I needed to. There was some stuff up here they need to work on. This is where, right along here, is
Hmm.
where you see that little
Yeah, I can
bubble.
see yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is where the support was. It went from right up here all the way down and into the water. So I took care of some of the water here. This
Hmm.
is some of the shadow from it.
Right.
And then there is a lot of work to take care of the sky in here. So and there was also a boat that disappeared. But I was just so happy with the way this turned out. And I just figured, you know, I do a lot of photo books, and the first one that I did took me about 20 hours. You know, now I can do a photo book in 2 hours. So I'm just thinking the same thing. This took me an inordinate amount of time, but you learn a lot. You apply that the next time you do it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, this particular picture is my capstone because I put pretty much everything I've learned in the class into this picture.
Awesome. Well, we'll say, when you learn to use your cloning tool a little bit better, you'll see how you can take the red that's right under the sun and squeeze it right over into that area,
Mm-hmm.
and get rid of that. The deal is that line is so hard, so it's like an actual pillar. But once you
Mm-hmm.
soften that up, you won't have that problem. You can go from both sides. Go on the right side and pull it into the left, and then go to the left side and pull it to the right. And the
That's a
same
good
thing
idea. I
with the
hadn't
water.
done that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because your sunset is given the people's eye is not going to go to that
Right.
until they look, right?
right.
But when they first look, they're seeing that sun. They're seeing this beautiful patch of breathy um, cloud in front. Is beautiful. That's art.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thank you.
continue, madam.
Yeah, that's it. That's the last one.
Oh, okay. The capstone. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I love to like whenever you fix it, just send me a copy. Let me know. Let me, say, hey,
Okay.
look what I did.
Keep
I'd
working on
be
it. That is kind
I,
of the nice thing. You can keep working on it
heck
forever.
yeah. You're gonna start doing some other stuff. Next thing we know, we're
Yeah.
like, yeah, there was a lady standing there. I had to get rid of her. And then you're like, what did you do? It's like, oh, there's a whole bunch of people right there. I just got rid of them. I just love the background. So
Yeah.
yeah, you'll get there. So cool. All right. Hey, Sandy, good to see you. Glad you
Hi,
made it.
hi, everybody.
All
I
right.
know.
We
I
are
didn't think I was going to make it.
then, well, you're here
Right. I
and
wanted to
we
see everybody's thing. I said, oh, I don't want to lose it. I don't want to miss it.
cool.
So I was trying to like push it. And hopefully my client didn't realize I was trying to say, okay, go, go,
Get
go.
out. I got you. You're
Yeah.
insured. No problem. Bye.
Right.
Well, we just only had 2 people go so far.
Okay.
So we're now on the next person. So we've heard from Bhavna, Susie, and Stephanie. I meant 3. And then so who wants to go next? It's Rebecca, Amanda, or Sandy.
I can go. I mean, I just, mine was a rush since all this week I've been trying to make money with my
Hi.
insurance. Actually, Susie, I wanted to tell you that I talked to Robin, and she said
Oh,
yes.
yay.
And you wouldn't believe who my daughter is. She said, "Oh my God, tell her she gave me my first job at Park Hall." Michelle Jordan, that's my
No
daughter. Yes,
way.
yes. She said, "I love her." Yeah, she said, "Oh my
Oh,
God, I love
yeah.
that. I love Susie." She said, "Tell her, you better let her know you're my mother." I said, "Okay,
That is wonderful. Please give my best to Michelle.
I will. I
Great.
will." Yes. Okay, here we go.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Isn't
Who
it
would have
cool?
thunk it? Yes.
Okay, so let me see. Where do I go? Share.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where in the world you're sharing? Okay. Okay. Um. Let me see. Let me see if it works. Okay, I just did some of the stuff that I have, and as you know, I don't know nothing about this, so I learned. I know I have learned something because I didn't know a thing. So I just decided to start playing with this stuff, put it in different, like this flower. I just decided to put it there in the middle, just to start my portfolio.
No problem. One
So
thing,
this is in the
Sandy, if you can
beginning.
go ahead and make it larger so we can see it. I don't know
Okay,
if you want to do it in
yeah,
presentation
this is,
mode or just make it larger,
For
okay.
slideshow?
because you can
Yeah,
do it
I'll
in
do a
slideshow if
slideshow,
you
yes.
want to. Yeah.
Okay. What you need?
You want to talk to Mary on the phone?
No, tell her I'm taking my class. Thank you. Mary, my niece?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Make it larger.
Or you can do a slideshow and it'll
Okay.
take over the whole thing, or you can
Okay.
just move that up
Okay.
so we can
I'm
see.
looking for my slideshow. Okay. Right here.
Yep.
And then,
Yep, from beginning,
what was that?
from beginning, the one on the left.
All the way to the
Oh,
left.
I did. I was looking at it all the time. Okay.
There
So
you go.
yeah, this is the first flower that I took a picture of. So since I loved it, I decided to put it there. And it was, it was part of the class, but I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, so let me go in here. And this is, I put the f-stop, which you guys are in there, and the shutter speed. And this is sort of, I guess it's not, I can't see it because you guys are on the side, but I was trying to get that little ant in there. And this is just using the f-stop. And I thought it turned out good for the beginner.
Okay.
Okay. And then I put the rule of third in here, but I practice so hard. I'm trying to do this. And so I did put the f-stop 5.6, shutter speed 1, it was 1250, and ISO was 400, and that was for both of them. And I did put it in the little grid, like you said, because my camera actually has the grid, and I was able to put each one of them in a different grid.
Awesome. Awesome. And you had ISO 400. So if you was going to change anything on that
Okay.
picture,
Uh-huh.
what would you change?
if I was gonna change anything in this picture,
From the light that's down at the bottom.
on the bottom, I think that I will do the so to speak, well, I've been practicing this thing, so I knew you were gonna ask that. I think I will use, instead of 1250, well, I think the way I had this one, I couldn't change the shutter speed.
All right, so you
So
had
I
shutter
would say
priority.
The ISO, maybe I put it 200.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Just want to see like how to
Right. The ISO, I would have changed that to 200. Yes.
make or move or change.
Right.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Sounds good. Shutter speed would have been a good one too if you didn't have it in shutter priority.
Right.
Because remember, you would have let less light in, so it would have been a little bit less light.
I was actually trying to have that little frog trying to get the whatever she has in her mouth from
Dragonfly.
dragonfly from the leaf I was hanging. I couldn't do that, but I'm practicing. Trust me, I'm going to practice until I get it.
Cool.
Then these was an M mode. So I do have I was trying to do a different settings, like you said, to change the, the f-stop, and look at that, put F2, but anyway, f-stop 5.6, and the shutter speed was 1/500. And as you can see, this one, you can really see all the purple on the flower. And in here, see f-stop was 22, and the shutter speed was 200, and ISO 1000. And then you can see how sunny it was. The sun was really hitting the flower, and it changed the color. It's the same flower.
Right. And then you also see on your first one, your details inside the flower. Awesome.
Exactly, the details, yeah.
Okay, cool. Continue on, madam.
And this was, okay, and this is the one that I was trying to get the flag, for flying, which I thought it is. And then this one is a stop right here. So the f-stop was 9, shutter speed was 125, and the ISO was 200. And then in here, I changed it to f-stop. I mean, the f-stop was 6.3, and then the shutter speed was 115. And you can see that's why it's so faded looking. And that's what I was looking for, the difference. That's why I put both of them side by side.
Awesome. So you do know some stuff about this here photography stuff, huh?
Well, I learned from you. Trust me, I didn't know anything. And then this one is just the motion stop, when I was taking a picture of her running. And this is, I look so pretty, so I decided I better put that in here because I really like this picture of her and the dogs from the next door neighbor. And they run with her. And it's funny because they are actually running with her. And you can see it here somewhere. I have what it is. I don't know what it is at this point because I wrote it down. Then this is the low depth of field, and I decided to put her back in there. And this is just her face. I wanted to focus just on her more than anything else. And then have the road, you can, shorter. You can hardly see how far it goes back. And that was a manual. That's why I put that in there, because it happens, I like manual better than any other mode. So I said, and I noticed mostly all my pictures, except for 3, are in manual. And I don't know why.
Okay.
But yeah, but that was I can adjust better. I guess I can control the camera is what it is.
Yeah, manual is in your control.
Yes.
You're not, the camera's not making the decisions. You're making the decision.
Yes, exactly.
In this picture, I didn't say this before, but just remember to make sure you can see her arm. You see how her arm is almost hidden?
Oh yeah.
And so the difference between a good and better picture would be making sure her arm is more noticeable, because it's almost like a sleeve without an arm, right?
Right. Okay.
So keep that.
Yeah, it's funny because she did that herself. She was going, "Let me put my hands." I said,
Yeah.
"Okay, whatever."
No problem.
Okay.
As the photographer, that's your subject, but you could say, "Hey, I need your arm out just a little bit more." Because think about if you were doing
right, at least it's open up, that it would be open in here, that you can see it. Okay.
Yep. So.
Good.
Cool.
Then this is the when I was in the car taking pictures so that was a shutter priority, and I just love this picture, and I said, this is the picture I'm going to put there because I like it. I like the colors, I think, more than anything else. And it is so perfect to me that amazes me that we were driving and I snapped the picture with this. You know, we were not even stopped. He was driving. And this one with it didn't turn out too good, but anyways, here. And I will practice on this. I told my husband, I'm going to have you go back and forth in your car until I get this thing done the right way.
Or he'll go drop you off at the freeway and let you go from there.
Probably, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I was trying to put many pictures, and this is from, this is funny because this is from the card that I made on Canva, and it's beautiful. And I can just show it to you once I finish here. But when I went to put it here, I didn't know how to transfer it from Canva to here. And when I did, it came white. You know, but I'll show it to you so you can see how nice it looks.
Okay.
And then this is the portrait that I did in this. I took all of her, whatever, you know, all her blemishes from her. And the only thing I think I would like to do is fix her eyes, but I don't know how to do it. And I will read about it in practice. I believe this might be the last one. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Okay.
All right. And did you do your
No, okay.
your other part of your
Oh
assignment?
my God, no, because I have this picture that I want to do, but I couldn't get two people to you know, to post. So when I get it done, I'm going to send them to you because I am going to do it. I said, I love this picture of, it's my niece when it's like, what is it? When they're getting married, you know, to remember the date or whatever. And it's a beautiful picture of her and her fiance. And I said, you know what? That's the picture I'm going to send him because, and I asked everybody, nobody, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to post. I said, oh my God, it's just standing in there and I'm just going to fix it to look like this. Nope. It didn't work. But I will.
You're gonna have to
work on it.
bribe them or
That's
pay
the
them.
only
That's
thing-
probably
That's the only thing that I didn't do. I almost had my husband and me, and I said, I can put it in here and you and I go. He said, hell no. That was his answer.
okay.
But, yeah, okay.
So
but
any other comments from the class? Anything else you want to say?
You know, I love the
About-
class and I would like to, you know, I can go to this class every day. It's really, and I enjoyed it so much that in a sense, it might not be the greatest picture, but I learned how to work with my camera. And I am so excited that I said, you know, I'm having a family reunion. It's going to be here. I said, I can't wait to take portraits. You know,
That's
seriously.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about all this. And I think I have learned a lot. I think my son, you know, when my son said, I'm bringing my dogs, I said, okay, good, bring the dogs, which I don't let dogs to come in my house, but he can bring the dogs because he's coming from South Carolina. I said, okay, 2 dogs. I said, you'll go in the basement. But I didn't
Find
tell
him
that.
apart. Put a little
But I love it. And I think I have learned a lot. I mean, it's just the idea of knowing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
yes, ma'am.
Knowing that it's something, you got something wrong and you have to fix it. I'm like Amanda though. You know how Amanda says she wants pictures to look the way she wants to.
She wants to look.
That's the way I am also. I want to take a picture and when I look at that picture, it's what I wanted the picture to look. I don't want to have to go to, you know, none of those places to fix it and change this and change that, unless
Okay.
we're going to take something away. But I love it. So you'll get a good report from me.
Oh, no problem. Just reminding you because you weren't here earlier, but you can come into any other future classes if you decide. Just let me know
Okay.
and just pop on in. And then if you wanted to kind of go back over a certain piece or whatever. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All
very
right. Who is next? We have Amanda and we have Rebecca. Amanda's going. Okay.
You want to play rock, paper, scissors for it? No, I'm just kidding.
There you go. Rock, paper.
Scissors, shoot.
Yeah, I
Oh,
always
shoot.
lose. We can if you
Okay.
want to, but I
Go
seriously
for it. Go
always
for
lose.
it. Let's go for it, Rebecca. Come on, ready?
Okay.
All right.
Rock.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
See? I
Paper.
said-
Rock wins.
No, paper
No,
wins.
paper wins,
much.
right?
Paper wins.
Yeah, paper covers rock.
Covers the rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you get to choose or do I go first because I lost? We didn't really.
I mean, it doesn't really.
Okay,
Oh, no.
I
It
can
was
go.
fun.
It's not a problem. So like, here's the thing about my presentation. So like when you gave us the instructions, you said, oh, just put it in a thing that will just go by itself. So that's what I did. So I don't have to talk at all during my presentation. Because there's music.
Well,
So
you got music too.
Oh.
Okay,
yeah, I
cool.
got music.
I
So
was
I
gonna
don't
put
mind going
music on- I
now.
was gonna put
Um,
music on mine too, but
Floor is yours.
I had
for it,
I had
girl.
entirely too much time this week. So I spent it on this, and I mean, like, I don't know, sometimes as like a parent, I'm always like, oh, where's all my free time? Like, is that even a thing that parents can have? But for
Yeah.
some reason this week I actually had it. So
Great.
all right, let's see, I'm on a different machine, so just bear with me. Okay. Do you know is there anything I
Oh.
have to do to share the
You wanna-
music in a different way?
Yeah, you want to make sure that when you share your screen, it's going to give
Okay.
you that little thing on the bottom that says optimize for sound. You want to
Okay.
click that little sound. So if you didn't do that, unshare, then reshare, and you'll see it on the bottom. Just got to make sure you tell it to
Okay.
share the sound.
Let me try again. Oh, share sound.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when you start it, it should kick in.
Okay. Can you guys see it? At least see my screen?
Well, once you
We
put
can
it
see
in
your screen.
presentation mode, we see your screen. So it
Okay.
should take over once you do presentation mode.
Okay. Do you want me to talk about the class first or after?
Yeah, that's up to you, however you decide.
Okay. How about after, since I got it all
Okay.
set up?
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
here we go.
Oh, that's sweet.
Love your music.
Yes, nice. Oh, that's nice.
All right, that's it.
That's beautiful.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
That was a little weird not talking for the whole time. In hindsight, perhaps I should have actually just said something, but I had a lot of fun in this class. I'm going to stop sharing. I originally started looking for classes to take because I hadn't done anything since my kids were born. You know, my eldest is 6 and I haven't done anything since she was born. And I tried to do things on my own and learning my camera on my own, and I just couldn't do it. Not for lack of trying, but one of the things that I really appreciated about this class was the sharing, because it inspired me, and it really motivated me to come and share every time. Also, just because everybody's pictures were so great. And even just, you know, watching people from the beginning to the end, including myself, that kind of transformation is just great. I just enjoy that. The biggest benefit that I had from this class was getting to know my camera. Before I took this class, I would literally take thousands of pictures and hope that one was okay. And it would take hours to go through all the pictures that I had taken and then edit them so that they would be just so, you know, the way that I wanted them to be. And now I know how to shoot manual mode. It was terrifying, but I did it. And when I'm shooting, because I'm conscientious about the composition and the different aspects of the photo and what I want to highlight, I don't have to take as many pictures. And I've also found that I didn't really have to edit them as much when I got them, you know, onto my computer and, you know, taking a look at them and reviewing them. I was finding that I didn't have to do as much editing. Some of them I didn't edit at all. Some of the ones of my youngest daughter, I didn't edit at all because they just came out, you know, because I took the time beforehand. And that's not even something that I would have considered doing before this class. Or like even had the vocabulary or the understanding of how to do that. So I'm immensely appreciative of the information in this class and the students and just the really positive environment here. And like I recognize that like I have a lot of editing skills and sometimes it can be a little bit flashy, but I really just feel like I didn't have a basic understanding, and this class gave me the basic understanding that I needed to be able to make full use of my camera. So I absolutely have I don't know how many stars, 5 stars, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 stars.
Yeah, you get 10 out of 10 stars.
Yeah, 10 out of 10
definitely.
stars for this
You
class.
get 10 out of 10. Don't forget, you actually
And
taught a class in the class, right? You
oh,
taught,
well, I mean, I
did a
sort of
little
showed, sort of went over what you
demonstration.
had already gone over in a different program. But yeah, so this class, I mean, so like I enjoyed this class so much that it has inspired me actually to go back to school and study creative processes again.
Wow.
So yeah, so I'm immensely happy with the
That's
class, and it
pretty
was a great
cool.
starting point.
That's
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
I just feel like everyone was so inspiring, and it was great to I don't know, collaborate in that way. Even though we didn't work directly together, that's sort of what we were doing. So yeah.
Well, I celebrate you. And you've always been so graceful and inclusive to everybody in the group to share like when they did something great and, you know, positive accolades and just a lot of positive energy from you. So I really appreciate that. And that's pretty cool that this class inspired you to decide to, you know, take another step toward something that you know, you're interested in. And I love the fact that you said that you hadn't done something for yourself in 6 years. Right. And
Yeah.
that's what happens to moms. It happens to moms way more than I think it happens with dads. Dads get to kind of like do stuff, right? When moms got to do stuff, go to work, take care of the kids, all this stuff. And so when do you get time for you, right? And so I love how you said that because I think we have to do that. Our lives will burn us out. our lives are so busy. And then with all the other stuff going on in the world, you're like you got stuff coming at you all day long, COVID and this and racial inequity and all this other stuff, and countries going upside down and bombs on children and all this stuff, right? So this has been a really cool safe space, and I appreciate how everyone in the group continued to leave it as a safe space. No judgment. It was just, hey, look what I did. And everybody's like, yes, let's celebrate and move forward. So appreciate that. All right, Amanda, we're ready for you, girl.
That was really cool. I'm not gonna lie. Mine is not. I'm dealing with 2 sick kids. Like I put my
Yeah,
pictures together. One of them has like a little bit of information. That was props to you because that was dedication right there. Like that
So
was.
I don't know, the planets aligned. Like I just had so much time. Like I never have that much time. I just had so much time to like do stuff. And I was
Yeah, I
like,
got mine
okay,
this
I'll just
morning,
roll, I'll
so.
just roll with it. So like, I mean, I know how it is, with kids. You can never predict when they're gonna take up all your time or none of your time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's it.
Right. So, I like my understanding of this project. Like, I have new pictures in here. Like,
That's okay.
some are a little older, some are comparative, but some are like literally within the week new.
Hmm.
Because I was just like, oh, you want one of these? Oh, you want one of those? All right, cool. Let's do this. So let's do
Yeah,
it.
you
shall
did not
we?
have to submit the same. You can do the main thing I wanted to make sure is that you learn what you came to learn and you're able to duplicate or fix what you need to fix. So
Gotcha,
let's have
gotcha.
it. Awesome.
Let me hide. You're in my way right now. No offense. So from auto to manual, auto is on the left, manual is on the right. These pictures are, what is today, 8 weeks? These pictures are 8 weeks apart, and coincidentally, he's wearing the same shirt because we were out in the water. First one is a toilet paper roll, and second one is a slinky. I pulled the slinky away from over my lens, and then I
cool.
pulled it away a little bit, and I really liked how the sun, like the lines are all in there,
Mhm.
captured it, and it didn't like do anything to him, which made me really happy. Like it didn't make him brighter, it didn't make him darker, it did exactly what I wanted it to do in that manual mode, captured exactly what I wanted it to. So,
I think Sandy
love
said
that.
that, right?
Right.
Look at
Look at that.
Oh gosh.
Rule of thirds. So again, like I said, this is like my favorite bird, my most favorite bird. If I can find all the cardinals in the world, I would. I absolutely love how he was eating a seed and cracking it in his mouth, and then the shell was falling at the same time.
Yeah.
So like one of my prized possessions.
Mhm.
Composition, again, that slinky picture, I changed it black and white. This tree went on the right. I really like how the clouds look like they're kind of moving. Like the tree looks like it's kind of leaning over and the clouds kind of look like they're floating with it. So I really like that. I did crop out a dinosaur on the side that my again, the slinky thing, put it over this flower that I was really impressed by. And at the very end, I think I'm going to put like this flower on a canvas because I was very, very impressed by it. The one on the left.
That is beautiful.
I kept throwing water on that pink flower. My husband has this perfect flower sprouting from just something that he planted over the spring, and he's waiting for all like his lilies to come up and stuff before he transplants them. He's a weirdo. This bumblebee. So at the beginning, if you remember, when we were doing this, I wanted to capture that bumblebee. So I cropped him and brought the focus to him, and the detail of his wings came out, and I absolutely fell in love with this picture.
He is seriously like taking care of business inside that flower.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. And like it's coming out. I like how it's wrapped around his leg too. Like he sat right in there to get
Like
that
right in there, like, let me get
playing.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need this nectar right now.
Right. This same picture, I channeled Bhavna. You'll see in a minute. Thinking about her when I did it, like, cause all I did was turn the contrast way down, and like what it did to the picture was amazing. This was an f-stop picture where I like let a little bit more light in for him. He was, being
It's almost like a highlight
silly.
right on him. So that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like how it kind of blurred it, like it kept some of the leaves behind him in focus, but it blurred a lot around the edges out.
Mm-hmm.
This was my shutter. I made him, well, I didn't make him. I was like, go dump water on her. So he did. She got super mad at him afterwards, but like for the picture, it was worth it. The water like coming down over her head.
Yeah.
This was an ISO. I was just kind of playing with the brightness on the camera. So one's a little bit brighter, the other one's a little bit darker. But I figured out the perfect ISO for this one over here to the right, and getting them to look up at me, because I have one of my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She's got blue eyes, he's got brown eyes, but it really brought out the color of her eyes, which made me really happy, because I was like, oh my God, I don't know what the heck Rebecca does to like get those eyes really, so being able to do it in my camera, I was like, yes, because I can't figure out the whole editing of the eyes thing, but I guess I just need to keep playing with different programs.
It's a brush.
With light, right?
You have to use a brush.
Just on the eyeballs.
Yeah, only the eyeballs. That's the only part you do. Otherwise it like will mess. That's how I do it, is just the eyeballs.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep playing with that one.
Me too.
Yeah, and they have a pencil you can use that will help you make the detail movements. I think I mentioned this. This is a whacker board. It's like under $100, and it's Bluetooth, and you can do all your fine tuning directly on your computer, and it doesn't have to be installed. You just install it as an extra, like accessory.
What's that called?
It's a Wacom board. It's WACOM. That's what I call it, Wacom board.
Wacom board.
Yeah.
Can find
That's
it
what
on
my son
Amazon.
called it, because my son does graphic design. He does T-shirts and stuff like that. And so I got it at Best Buy for, I think it was on sale for $70.
Okay.
And they have other sizes and other ones, but I felt I didn't need nothing major, just something to just help get closer when I want to do fine tuning. So WACOM.
Got it.
And they have other ones too, but that one was the cheaper one, and it got the work done that I want to do. So
Are you saying the word after Wacom is board?
I called it a Wacom board because this basically is a pen and a electronic pad, right? But they have a whole bunch of dots on here, and the pen itself, you can turn it on and off, and it's just like using your mouse. So this becomes your mouse, and now you can go fine tuning from dot to dot.
Oh,
Mhm.
So the pixels are already kind of like laid out on the pad. Okay.
Got it.
So
My light pictures. So I did get down on the ground. My driveway, there's this crack in the driveway where all of these, so this is a short depth of field. In the crack, all of these little like leaves are growing, and it looks like I want to say they look like maple leaves. I'm gonna have to pull them eventually, but I thought it was a really cool picture that, in the crack, even no matter what, life will always grow no matter where you are. You leave it untouched, life's gonna grow there. So I thought it was really, really cool that, that just so happened to be a place that maple trees decided they were gonna start growing.
yeah, it's like the rose out of concrete.
Right. This was an exposure picture, which is way overexposed. Hate it, but I threw it in there because why not? Dragonfly.
That was just a piece of art that you just decided to leave.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it was like we can just leave that behind. So this one I actually did get all this stuff for. This was in my, I think it was my Aperture priority. I like how the squirrel, this was this morning, he decided he was going to maybe try and grill something up. I have no idea what he was going to do. But he looked right at me, like right after I took this, like, you gonna stop me? You gonna let me grill? You got some meat in there? Like, what you got for me? So I really liked him just chilling there. Back focus. This is the picture on the right is actually a mushroom. You'll see, but I back focused on the greenery that was behind it, the overgrowing grass. And to the left is actually a wall in Harper's Ferry. If you keep going like back in the distance, there's like a hole that you can, it was right by one of the battlefields. It was the opposite side of it. So you could like crawl through it and like get up, like kind of like a hideaway almost, like, you know, back in the day. This is my exposure triangle. I was playing with all of these are hydrangeas that are growing outside. I was playing with, you know, how much light I wanted in. The shutter speed is kind of like, at this point, I keep it high because of the fact that I'm constantly shooting the kids. And in reality, it just makes it a little bit easier on pretty much whatever I'm shooting. So.
Do you change the color of your hydrangeas?
I did not.
Okay, so you know that you change it from pink to blue with the pH in the ground?
Right.
In the dirt. Okay, just curious. Yeah, if you change the pH in the dirt, those will turn pink instead of blue.
How the heck can you change the pH in the dirt?
By adding less or more, depending on what you put in the dirt. So
these were here so these two bushes were here when we moved in.
Okay.
They just started blossoming. I had no idea that I can change these to pink. I might mess around.
You might try that, and then you can catch them in between and get a really cool shot of the transfer.
I like the little buttons in the middle. Like I really like the fact that I was able to pick those up. They just look like cute little buttons.
Yeah.
I really like it.
That's awesome.
I don't know why. Again, like I said, I didn't pull anything. Obviously, like me being able to see this, I know my exposure is way over to the left where all of that white is. He was laying out tanning and I sprayed him with water after this and he got mad. Worth it, you know? It's worth it.
He's such a helper with all of your pictures.
Yeah. These were the auto presets. Like I said, when I did them, I don't like auto presets. Like they don't do for me what I want them to do. So goodbye. Selected genre. So the girl on the left is actually my sister-in-law. And this is one of like, this was a boudoir session we did, but it was like the cleaner stuff. So, but I absolutely loved it. I loved the way the sun hit her face. I loved the arm that, you know, she was making funny faces at me through most of this. And I actually did shoot that in black and white. I didn't change it. Nothing in this picture did I have to touch or change at all. And I love that picture. Like, I'm like, are you going to put that up on your wall anytime soon? Because
I would just say one thing, and you cut her toes off.
I did cut her toes off.
Did you do that on purpose? Or
I did.
Okay.
I did. Because I wanted a lot more of her hair. And I was a little bit of a distance from her, but in order for me to get like a lot of the detail that I wanted in her face and stuff, unfortunately her toes had to go.
Okay. Just curious. All right.
Yeah. The picture on the right, you guys have already seen. This is pretty much what moving forward I will be shooting is families and the boudoir stuff. I have some wedding stuff that we're bouncing into now, but like I said, being able to go into that manual mode and being able to auto it to look like the picture on the right, exactly what I want, how I want it.
Mm-hmm.
I you know, all I got to do is crop a little bit out because I had like a lot of the door in there
Okay.
and call it a day. So
Yeah. And
um,
boudoir photography is very expensive for people. I mean, people will pay a pretty good penny for that type of photography.
yeah,
And of course, once you, Mhm.
there's these photographers that I follow that have these giant like angel wings. I need to like get me some of those because the pictures are phenomenal. Like what they do with them is amazing.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna find yourself really drawn into that kind of area. There's so many things, and there's a few, and people use what's called local studios, where you guys can rent out a local studio, and they have all the furniture and everything. All the props are in there. You know what I mean? Clothes, etc. You just bring your model and your camera and your lenses, and if of course you might moving forward, you're probably going to use some of your filters and some of your other lenses, because you have more lenses than what, the standard lens, right, on your camera, Amanda. So
Right.
where you can really, really like totally get into that whole, people shooting people. And a controlled environment too. So
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm super
Continue.
excited for it to continue
Yes.
on that path. This one I just kind of cropped, I upped, so that way the contrast on it, I upped, that way that green kind of stood out a little bit more in the very back.
Mm-hmm.
That pull out, because I feel like it was kind of a distraction, like your eyes kind of went to that versus, to
Yeah,
the
it wasn't natural compared to everything else that's natural, right?
right.
Everything that was naturally in there, water, rock, the backdrop.
Yeah, and then I got like that weird post just
Ah.
popping up. So
Mhm. Awesome.
shadows, my front yard goes down a slope,
Mhm.
and it's being overrun by ivy, as you can tell. So I did this because I liked how in a moment. Thank you. I liked how like I could really get in and see the stems, and it didn't like crop all of that out, and you can kind of like see the natural shadows in it
Mhm. And the highlights.
all the way up.
Cool.
Love the look.
This one is the
Oh,
one I was thinking about Bhavna in. I was like, oh man, she'd like that. I wasn't even like all I did
Oh,
turn down that contrast, and I was like, whoa.
all of that came from the same shot that you did earlier, where the contrast was totally up.
Yeah.
You just turned it down, and boom! Look at the pink,
I
Yeah.
love the yellow on the bee.
and then
Yeah.
and the little yellow highlights all throughout the whole thing, the yellow and green.
Yeah,
Really
That's
nice,
cool.
happy.
Amanda.
That you could even like print and like hang up. That's a cool picture.
I love the
I'll
red
send it
that's
to you,
on his
Bhavna.
wings too.
Yeah,
The
I'll put it
red
in my
on the wings is
office.
awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like his wings, like I don't know why they looked so like crunched up and cripply and like old manny-ish. So much for them, and they don't, you know what I mean? Like they expand and they carry their bodies, and it's just I don't like bees.
Mhm.
If this thing would have come flying at me, I would have ran.
Well,
But-
remember, the bumblebee was not supposed to fly. His body weight versus aerodynamics is totally off,
Oh,
but it doesn't
Even
know
more
that.
reason why you don't mess with bumblebees. No. So the pictures on the left are not mine. The picture on the right is mine. I just kind of took a different angle at it, changed it to black and white. Doing this again, I will definitely shoot in black and white mode. All I did was turn this to black and white. I kind of upped the shadow a little bit on it. I upped the white contrast on it just a little bit. But it's something that like flowers are something that I really like. On top of cardinals, not as much as cardinals, but it's something that I can find the beauty in the petals and, you know, the dark crevice, the dark spaces of it. And
Right. That's
this,
the art of it. So that's beautiful.
right. Not the same mushroom, obviously. The mushroom on the left,
What?
that's not mine. Mine's a little bit more short and stumpy, story of my life, but I really liked how I got behind the grass there and just kind of took that picture. And on their picture, it's kind of like a leaf, but I wasn't trying to go find any leaves at all. So
Okay.
I came down to its level and I thought like, wow, this mushroom is the only mushroom in this spot. So let's take a picture
Let's
of it.
take a picture of it. Oh,
This one is my absolute favorite, my private session.
look at that.
Beautiful.
Oh, where'd you go, Amanda?
Love.
Oh, there you go.
Like, this is now my background picture on my phone. Like, I literally texted my mom and was like, want to see this BA picture I took? Because and I sent it to her and I sent it to my mother-in-law. Like, I just love the water drops that I was able to get under the petals and under the leaves. And like, the greenery in the background is all grass on my ground. I was up in this picture. Like, I was on this flower. And the beauty of it was a manual mode and I manipulated it the way I wanted it. And I fell in love. I'm going to print this on a canvas and put it somewhere,
As you should.
but it's happening.
Well, that's just phenomenal. And just, you know, again, you did a great job on that. So
That's what I did. My stuff.
Awesome.
well, I
pretty proud
gotta
of
tell
it.
you, Lisa sent me hers. She's not able to be here, but she sent me her presentation. So I will be sharing her presentation. But before I do that, I am in a coaching certification program. And last Saturday, I was at a coaching conference and the guest speaker was like talking about some really amazing stuff. But one sentence she said out when she said was how she used photography dealing with anxiety. And it was like therapeutic. And when she mentioned that, it caught my eye. And she mentioned her website. So I went to the website. Like I'm supposed to be listening to this conference stuff, but then I went to the website. And when I went to the website, I was just enamored with what she's done. And I said, this is what I want my students to be able to do. And I didn't even think about the combination of therapeutic photography. You know, people think of a lot of different things they do, cook, bake, you know, pottery, whatever. But this idea of using photography was awesome. So I have, and you guys can see, I have Dr. Karen, I know I'm gonna mess up the last name, Rivik.
Rivich, no worries.
Right, Rivich from Pennsylvania. She was doing a presentation, and I went to her website. I just wanted her to go ahead and come in. She said yes. I said great. If you can be here, she said I can't be there until 7:30, and this worked out perfect. So I want to turn some time over first to just have you tell us who you are, what you were doing when you ran into this whole idea of photography, and how you discovered this whole new world for yourself, Dr. Karen.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's great to meet you all. Amanda, those are beautiful. I'm glad I got to see your photography. Yeah, as Dwayne said, so I mean, I'm not a photographer. I mean, I dabble. I'm a psychologist and I work at the University of Pennsylvania and I study resilience and well-being. So I do research and I teach and coaching like Dwayne around helping people to have lives where they feel, you know, it's rich in meaning and purpose and joy and all that good stuff. And I, actually about more than a year ago, when COVID sort of hit, I travel a lot. I was home. I have 4 kids, wasn't traveling. And it really I hit the pause button for the COVID hit the pause button for me. And I realized that all of these things, I talk a lot about optimism and positive emotion. And the honest truth was, for me, it wasn't happening in my life. I describe myself as somebody who like kind of came in the world a little more pessimistic. That's the direction I lean. As Dwayne said, I can get a good anxiety going. I mean, that's just sort of how my body and brain works. And so since I wasn't traveling, I figured this was a really good time for me to try to answer the questions I ask other people. Like one of the questions I ask in a lot of the workshops and teaching I do is like, what keeps you whole? What are the things that you do that like make your soul sing? And I realized, and it was sad that I couldn't answer that for myself anymore. So I had an iPhone and I went out and I just started taking pictures. And initially, I kind of went out with a goal in mind. I'm very goal oriented. So I went out and I was I'm going to take pictures of trees. I'm going to take pictures of flowers. And it was very type A photography. Like I'm going to go out, I'm going to get 10 pictures and it was just like, and that was fine. And I started to like really enjoy composition more than anything. Like I tend not to like symmetry. I tend to like things always a little bit askew. And then as sort of time wore on, I realized there was a big change in the way I was approaching photography. And the change was, and this changed me in some really important ways. The change was I stopped going out looking for something. And instead, the word I will use is I allowed. I just would go out with the camera. My husband bought me a camera after several months. And I would go out and I would just allow something to pique my interest. And one day it might be flowers. And then another day, like, I don't know if I can share.
Yes.
All right, let me see if I can.
It's all set for you to share, talk, sing, whatever you. I
Sing.
said you have
Holy
the
cow.
platform.
I don't know about singing. How, let me see that. Like how,
Okay, so you
Can
have
you-
the green box down there. If
Yeah.
you want, you can put it in the chat, but on the green box, it says share. So
yeah,
all you would do is hit that green box.
yeah.
And then when it opens up, it's gonna give you some parameters there, and you can just pick whatever you want to share. So whatever you want to share, bring it up first on your
Okay.
laptop, and then that way you'll see exactly which thing
Okay,
to share.
let me just I'm gonna bring up my website real quick and see if I can do this. If not, maybe.
If not, you can put it in the chat, and I'll go bring it up for you.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Let's see. Actually, you know what? Can I
Go ahead,
just,
put it in the chat. I'll take care of it.
Okay. So I have to make you big again. All right, here we go. So the chat.
Yep.
I should be able to do this. So the website is called, and I'll tell you
There
why
we go.
it's called that. So anyway, I started going out not knowing what I would photograph. And it over time, I became like enamored by like the oddest things. So you'll see on the website, like I have a homepage where I have some quotes and poetry, whatever. But the part that kind of is most exciting to me is that I started these different collections that capture different things that caught my attention. Here you go. On different days. So if you want to scroll down just a little bit.
Well, you're going to tell us what summer 55 means.
Yes. Okay.
afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you now. That's good. So I'm 56. I'm 55. I'm saying I'm 55, but I started this when I was 50, and I realized it was my 55th summer because I'm born in April, and so it was my 55th summer, even though I was 50. And I decided I was going to devote that summer to figuring out the question, what keeps me whole? Like to find a way to get back to feeling like myself again. And photography was definitely the way I did that. And the thing about it, I wrote a little bit about it here, is that I think I started to trust again that there's beauty everywhere. Like Amanda, I heard you talking about beauty and how like in your photographs, certain things really struck you as beautiful. that's what happened to me, is that I would go out without a goal in mind, and I would find beauty in the strangest places. And then because I was finding beauty, my mood got better, my anxiety lessened, and I feel like my attachment to the world changed. Like I became curious about things that I wasn't curious about before. So these are just some quotes that that speak to me. But if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see like on the home page, it's just sort of day by day what fascinated me. So these two that you see now, I did an hour ago. This is the one on the left is a steamroller. So I was just walking by a truck, and that's just the big roller of the truck, and the colors of that, just like the red and orange on the left-hand side, like really caught my attention. And the texture, I really enjoy texture and detail. So usually my photographs are, I zoom in very closely and just get parts of things. And I post a lot on Instagram and Facebook. I used to label and tell people what the photograph was. And then it sort of came to me that I don't like doing that. Occasionally I will. I like for people to have to wonder about what it is, because I believe, as a psychologist, that when we wonder, worlds open up to us that we don't sort of always connect with. So that's a steamroller. And these are just some pipes at a construction site. And then if you go down, you'll just see like day by day, it's just like the one on the left here with the brick wall. Yeah, with the graffiti. I really like how you see the fence. That's a chain link fence in front of the wall. And so I was shooting through the chain link fence. So this is like, I'm interested in sort of destruction and how there's beauty in even things that are destroyed. And then if you just go down a little bit, there's some frogs I wanted to point out that that's me. I think reflections and sort of seeing yourself in your artwork is kind of cool. But these frogs, like this is a pond. We have a little pond in our front yard. And just like the color and texture, I can watch these frogs for hours. And that just kind of fills me up. And so, I mean, the one thing I wanted to show, Dwayne, if you don't mind, is one of the collections is called Orange Cones. It's up at the top. But I think the part of this that was really interesting to me, orange cones, is that one day like if you told me a year ago that I was going to become fascinated by orange cones and fire hydrants, and that was going to be a conduit to my well-being, that by looking at fire hydrants and cones that I was going to suddenly feel more like myself again, like the therapeutic aspect that Dwayne was talking about, I was like, you're crazy. But this picture here on the left with all the blue, like, that's obviously highly edited, but that picture and the color and the texture and like, it's a little sinister, but kind of cool and urban and like funky, like that, this to me, like, I think I became a better life coach and a better mom because I allow myself to like really get mesmerized by things like this. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I did want to just say that I think for me in photography, it's the word that I just keep coming back to for myself is the idea of allowing, and just allowing the world to reach out to me, as opposed to me always having to find a way to construct the world. But in my photography, it's sort of, I'll go wherever the world wants to take me. And that's just been an amazing, amazing way for me to sort of feel whole and healthy. So that's a little bit about me and what I do.
Unmute myself there. So I have some questions, but I wanted to know, I love the fact that you said you allowed yourself to allow it to unfold. The unfolding is like the unfolding of life, right? Because a lot of times we try to construct life, we try to compare it and fix it and make it something. But sometimes, you know, if you just kind of surrender to it,
Yeah.
magic happens, right?
Yeah.
Some just amazing things. And what I loved when I saw your site was the fact that you have collections. And now to have the story that you decided to let it unfold, I totally get it because, you know, part of what I talk to the classes about identifying what you want to take pictures of and then going after that. But in your story, you started that way, but then you were like, you know what? I don't need to stick to this one genre. I can just unfold and allow these things to come to me, which I think is amazing. That's a beautiful way. If you were going to pick anything off of your list that you haven't shared today, what area would it be?
Reflections.
All right. I want to go to Reflections. I actually wrote a song called Reflections. It was a song back in the 90s. It was a rap song on the BMG rights for it. And it was Scared to See My Own Reflection was the key
Mm,
because it was bop, 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 you hear a gunshot. And it was about the urban experience and how life could just be gone in a moment.
mm,
And the guy looks in the mirror and he says, I don't want to be a victim of society.
mm,
I'm scared to see my own reflection. Am I going to be the one with the gun in my hand or,
mm.
you know, on the other side? So reflection is awesome. Take us through the story. Tell us what's going on. What are we
Yeah.
looking at?
So if you just scroll down a little bit, so I became really curious. I was walking and I saw a puddle, which is how this started. I could say something about these in a minute, the ones that are self-portraits, but I saw a puddle and I realized if you scroll down, I can actually, I'll find the one that kind of anchored it to me. So this one, the one with the pothole, and then you could see me in the pothole.
Hmm.
So that photograph, I was in a really grumpy mood. And I was just like, went out walking and I was trying to walk myself into a happy mood and looked down and saw myself in that pothole that was filled with muck and it was a winter day. And it just, there's something about realizing that even when I'm grumpy, like I'm always with myself. I'm always present with myself. And part of what I think I used to be afraid of was to sort of just like be by myself. Solitude was very hard for me. I leaned toward lonely versus having solitude. And so reflections to me is about understanding that in any experience, any surface, or, those are shadows of me in a tree. They're not all of me. There's dimension to it there. And that if we slow down and look, we can see the different dimensions of ourselves and of our worlds in these in these everyday moments. And so this collection is really meaningful to me because it's about looking past the surface and seeing what else is in. This is one of my favorite pictures, the one on the right of me holding the iPhone, and I'm looking in a building and you see all the different aspects of the building and me. And like, I think if I had to pick a photograph that said who I am, I think it would be this photograph because it's about, there's so much going on in my head at all times, but if I slow down, I can really be present. So this one on the right is kind of cool because that's my reflection in a bubble, a raindrop.
Mm. Love it. I love this reflection of the lighthouse.
Yeah.
The is the opposite, right?
Yeah.
So real cool stuff. All right. Well, I just really want to say thank you so much, Dr. Karen. Number one, you took the time out of your schedule to share with us. And they may have a few questions. Do you have time for a couple of questions?
Yeah, sure.
Anyone have any questions or thought? Because you were not a professional photographer. You were someone who just picked up the camera and let the lens speak to you.
Yeah.
But your photographs are professional photographs. They are lovely.
Oh, thank you. It's funny. This is the first time I've ever talked publicly about my photography. So I'm very, very anxious right now. My heart is
Really?
pounding. Yes. And the website wouldn't have happened. My kids bought me that domain name, Summer 55. And I would never have been like, I'm not a shy person. Like in my professional world, I give lots of talks. I'm very comfortable. But this is I'm a private person. So putting photography out on a website, like and talking about it publicly is different for me, and it feels very vulnerable, but fun. So I appreciate you letting me drop into your world and share a little bit about it myself.
Here's the thing, because you said a number of different things while you were speaking, and the encouragement is that you don't have to be a professional. You just need to be, right? You just be. And the fact that you talked about unfolding, and the fact that you talked about just going for a walk, and inside the walk you find these things, and then you started learning to edit, I see.
Yeah.
Because tell us about that. What was happening that you wanted to manipulate and add a little spice to it, or what have you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still learning a lot about the camera. I have so much to learn. So, but yeah, I think for me, what I realized as I started to play around with the photographs is that what mattered most to me was framing. Like
Mhm.
I said it a little bit ago, like I tend not to like symmetry. I tend to like things like
Skewed
off.
to the side.
Yeah. And so I started to like do a lot of cropping. Like that's a major thing that I do. I'll take a photograph and then I'll just play around with it until I find the one corner or a tiny aspect of it that is the part that I think is most interesting. The other thing that I probably do a lot with in terms of editing is color. Like I want to heighten certain colors.
Mhm.
And I'm noticing as I was sharing the photographs with you, what I'm drawn to is texture. So
Right.
I'm drawn to like those pipes that are at the top of the website. Like
Mhm.
it was like paint chipping.
Yeah.
There's things behind things. And I usually when I edit, I'm trying to highlight the texture.
Yeah, there was one of a grate on the grate that's a water grate that's covering, what do you call it, the little round thing, on the traffic. What's it called? The little circle. Um, anyway, you took a picture of that, and then the scratches on, it was like scratches on a fence or something.
Yeah.
I was like, I would have never thought to take a picture of the scratches, right?
Yeah.
But the scratches had all these dimensions in it,
Yeah.
and it just kind of popped out, and I said, wow, that's pretty intense. So
Yeah. That is it. It's funny. I take so many pictures of dumpsters. I've
yep,
learned
dumpsters, that's what it was.
like dumpsters
Scratches
are
on the
the
dumpsters.
coolest thing because there's trash and it has dimension and texture to it. And then usually dumpsters are scratched and rusty and dented. And so there's
Hmm.
light reflection and all of that. So yeah, that
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
I was like, wow, a scratches on a dumpster. I just not thinking. And then seeing the roller, I totally knew it was a roller when I saw it, because I was
Yeah.
like, that looks like a roller. And then you said it was a roller.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, because I've seen that before, but I've taken the whole picture, not get that close to the roller itself. So
Yeah.
just want to say again, everyone, this is just prime example of the conversation I was having with you, that you are the one behind the camera, and now today's the last day. You were wrapping up, but you don't have to stop connected with each other. You can connect. You now have someone, Dr. Karen. You can go to her website and ask her questions and send her a little, hey, what's up? It's me. Reminding her of this moment, and that type of thing. But Dr. Karen, we're part of College of Southern Maryland has what's called public enrichment, or enrichment courses. And so I teach a class on self-publishing, blogging, digital photography with your camera and your cell phone. So I do cell phone photography, and that's how I became the photographer here. I mean, the instructor here, because I was doing cell phone photographer and the photography, and the actual uh, instructor for this class bailed.
Oh,
He was on vacation, and he was like, I'm not coming back. COVID had hit, and they were like, Mr. Ross, can you take over the class? And I was like, uh, sure, it's the same stuff. F stops to F stop, blah blah blah. So I kind of took it over, and this is like 2 years now that it's happening,
wow.
right? And so I want to say thank you so much. We appreciate you stopping by. Everyone, just let's give her a hand or a motion, a
Thank you for
emoticon,
letting me drop in. You
put some
guys make
hearts
it
out
easy
there.
to talk about this, and I'm less anxious now. So, and look, this is my email. If any, if people, I would love to interact with you all and learn about your photography. So if anybody wants to
There
do
it
that, that would be
is.
great.
All right, and I'll put
Thank
this in
you.
the
Thank
notes, you
you.
guys, from I always send you the final, I'll send you the final copy of this as well. You'll get a copy of this in your presentations, and that's great. All right, so we're ending a little bit early, but we want to say so long to Dr. Karen.
Bye,
I will
everybody.
give
Thank
you
you very
guys her
much.
her her
Bye-bye.
email and stuff. And does anyone have any questions or anything you want to say before we end?
Dwayne, I just want to say that the reason why the class has been so supportive of each other and tuned into each other is because you led um, that tone from the very beginning. And I notice when you're looking at our work, you find something positive to say about it. And you have found ways to suggest perhaps another way to do it or whatever in a way that feels very supportive and not at all as um, anything negative. And that's a rare skill. I mean, it's a prime teaching skill. But there are lots of people who are teachers or who are not teachers who don't have it, and you do it really well. I know I appreciate that a lot. I'm sure we all do, but you model it, and so that's how everybody else then interacts with each other. So thanks, I really appreciate that.
That's so cool. Thank you so
Agreed.
much.
Yes, thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Well, I'm here as a resource. If you get stuck or anything, you always have my number. You can text me, email me, call me. We're connected that way. I hope you stay connected. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, taking you on this journey. And, I'm looking forward to hearing from you later on when you're like, hey, guess what? I just did this. They put my picture up at the mall and down in DC or whatever. Who knows? Right now, if you drive through DC, you see iPhone pictures from people who submitted their pictures that got put up in different places. So you never know, right? All right. Thank you so much. Have a great
Thank you
one,
so
and we'll
much.
see you if you see you in another class or what have you. I want to encourage you. One of the things that she talked about was creating a website. I really would say, if you're really thinking about doing this, you can create a website. Now, Google gives you a free site. You can go to what's called Google Sites, and it's a basic site. That's exactly what it is. But it allows you to upload your stuff and put it there, and it gives you a little subdomain name and everything, and you can share there as well, just like you can go to Mug and some other different photo sharing places and put your stuff there. Don't forget, you have Unsplash, where if you really want to get some feedback and you don't care what happens to your photography as far as copyright and stuff like that, you can put it out there and let the world decide where to take it, right? It's subjective, it's art. So it's been a pleasure with meeting everyone here, working with you over these weeks. Have a great night, and I'll yield back to you a whole half an hour of time.
Thank you
Okay?
very much.
Bye,
Thanks so
Right.
Thank
much.
everyone.
you.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Everybody take care.
Night.
Nice to meet
Thank you so much,
everybody.
Miss Susie.
You
Appreciate
too.
that.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
thank you, Stephanie. And Bob, now I did see yours earlier. So thanks so much. All right, you guys. Have a good one.